Good morning and welcome to Backyard and Beyond. And we are so happy to have Judy Phippen here with us this morning. Good morning, Judy.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Levon.
Absolutely. Some of you will remember one day we tried to call Judy and it didn't work. And so this time we said, we're going to do this live, face-to-face, and here you are. So we appreciate that. And, of course, we want to talk about the Secondhand Rose Shop at Heritage House. What is Secondhand Rose Shop?
Secondhand Rose is the shop that sells used clothing, gently used clothing, jewelry, appliances, small appliances like coffee makers, nightgowns, things like that. We get donations from the residents there at Heritage House, and we also get many donations from people off of the street that want to support us and bring in things that they think we might use.
Are there, as I'm cleaning out my house, because I do this all the time, but anyhow, as I'm doing it, are there some things that you would recommend that I not bring in or that you would really like to have? Are there some recommendations you can make to us?
Jewelry is just a big seller at Secondhand Rose. The residents love to go through the jewelry, and they'll be looking through jewelry and they'll say something like, oh, I used to have a necklace like this that I wore to the prom, or something like that, which makes for good stories. I love to hear those. They love jewelry, and they love nice nightgowns and bathrobes.
Okay.
Those are really things that they like. Shoes are rather hard to sell because everybody's feet are different.
Mm-hmm.
And we use things like coffee pots and
mixers, I'm thinking hand mixers maybe.
We use the hand mixers, but those are mostly bought by people from the outside. Secondhand Rose is open to the public.
Okay, and when you were talking about what the residents like, I was going to say, yeah, but anybody can come into Secondhand Rose,
Absolutely. Right? We encourage walk-ins.
And find wonderful bargains. If you're a bargain hunter, hey, Secondhand Rose might be the place to come.
We just had a big coat sale, and our bargains on the coat sales were we offered the coats for $1 a piece.
Wow.
And they were nice coats, but Secondhand Rose isn't very big, so we can't get a large buildup of inventory.
Uh-huh. And so when you get too much stuff, then what do you do?
We have a special sale, like I did for the coats, and then I will take things to Goodwill.
Okay. So that's good to know that, they do get passed on for somebody else to use.
They do indeed.
Yes. And you mentioned appliances. I'm sure you could also take small pieces of furniture.
We adore things like bookcases and I'm trying
small dressers? Small?
No, the people usually bring in what they want when they move into Heritage House, and we don't have people off the street that come in to look for furniture there.
Okay.
At Secondhand Rose. They're looking for clothing like jewelry.
Very good. Well, and do you sell greeting cards? I'm not greeting cards, but
no,
okay.
We don't have greeting cards. The money that we make from Secondhand Rose goes to the Residents Council there at Heritage House, and they use the money for buying things that the residents at Heritage House need, and then they use it for donations at Christmas time and everything. So all of the money goes 100% to the Residents Council, and no one that works at Secondhand Rose gets any money for it.
Okay, including the volunteers.
The volunteers.
Like you, Judy.
I have 15 ladies that take turns working in Secondhand Rose.
And when are you open?
We are open on Monday from 1:30 to 3, and on Thursday morning from 9:30 to 11.
Okay. So if you don't remember those and you say, hey, I want to go find some bargains at Secondhand Rose, they probably could just call Heritage House and say, when are you open?
They can. Julie'd be glad to answer that.
243-1850.
That's right.
Some reason I know that number right off the top of my head, and it's an easy number to remember. So the volunteers you have mostly come in to sell, correctly?
Right.
And you do all of the other arranging and sorting and all
I
those-
do. Everything that comes in, I sort, and if it needs to be laundried, I'll take it home and do the laundry, and sew on buttons as they need be, and so I get it ready to sell so that it's in good shape when you buy it.
Why do you love this job, Judy? Sounds like a lot of work.
I like it because I like the people that come in. I love talking to the Heritage House residents, and the Heritage House staff is really nice and accommodating. They've given us the room for secondhand rose.
Which is where?
It's in the basement of Heritage House.
Okay, so you
The
take the
main
elevator
building.
downstairs.
Downstairs.
And when you come out of the elevator, you turn.
You turn to your left.
Okay.
And it's the second
I'm sure
door.
you have a sign.
I do.
So lots of fun sorting. I'm thinking probably, you talked about other people having stories. I'm thinking occasionally you may have some memories that are stirred up by things that you're working on.
I do. There was one blouse that came in that, believe it or not, now this goes back a year or two, I had a blouse identical to it, and I ruined it because I dropped something on the front. And when I saw this blouse, I thought, oh, this is just like I used to have. I think I'll buy it. And I thought, the size is a little off. Maybe not.
Somebody else will get to enjoy
That's
that
right.
blouse instead of you.
That's right.
Yes. And can you tell us a little more about the council? You said the residence counselor is the one who helps and who uses the money. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Certainly, it's made up of residents of Heritage House, and they have a board, just like any organization. I believe Elaine Elming is the president of the Residents Council, and they meet and they have discussions once a month about things that they'd like to bring up and how to use the money and everything that comes in. And then they also belong to the Heritage House Guild, which is the ladies' guild there at Heritage House. I believe Arlene Rainey is the president and Nancy Meisner is the vice president. And the guild meets once a month, and the Residents Council meets with the guild.
Okay. So all a part of making Heritage House a great place to live.
Oh, and it is.
I just hear lots of good comments about, I guess, mostly all the friendships that people make as they live in Heritage House.
And, as I've worked up there and realized how kind the staff is and everything, it's just, I'm really impressed with Heritage House. And I'm impressed with the way that they remember the names and even mine.
Even yours. Oh, Judy. Well, with your unique voice, I think people don't forget you.
Well, thank you. I
Yes.
hope it's unique
Yes.
in a good way.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You talked about all the clothes that we've talked about. And I think it's really important to know that donations come from residents of Heritage House and also from the rest of the community. And sometimes I think we kind of forget. As we look around the community, there are a number of places where we can take used items to, as we're cleaning out and downsizing and so on. But we need to remember secondhand robes.
Absolutely. And if you have some things to leave when the shop isn't open, if you want to call Heritage House and tell them that you're bringing it in, they'll call me, and I'll meet people down there to
okay.
help them
Okay.
bring things in and everything.
A couple other things that I've is just thinking about what might be there. Do people bring in books? I'm thinking paperback books.
They do. They bring in books and puzzles. The residents love puzzles, and they'll bring in. I was trying to think of some of the other books, kinds of books, but usually it's large print books
Okay,
and
that would
puzzles.
be good. Uh-huh. What about pictures for the wall, like framed pictures or that kind of-
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to say knicky-knack things. So, maybe some nice statuary. A lot of people have a lot of that stuff they've collected, but occasionally there's something, vases, that kind of thing.
They love these little statuettes, and they will come in and just look at those and exclaim over them and buy a lot of them because those give the residents a lot of joy. They love looking at the pretty little things like that.
And you mentioned Christmas a bit ago. We're coming up on another holiday, Valentine's Day. Are you getting ready for that?
I'm trying to get some red clothing to feature that for the Valentine's Day. I have one wall where I hang things that are featured. And so if anybody has anything red that they'd like to donate, yes, I'll put it out for Valentine's Day.
And I think there are little decorations, too, that would be fun for Valentine's Day.
Absolutely.
And maybe somebody could find a gift that they would like to give someone else for Valentine's Day.
And we'd love to sell it to them.
Yes. So, again, you've talked much about the residents, and that's really important. That's probably why it was started.
I believe it is. I've only been there about a year. The Heritage House Guild was looking for someone to head up the secondhand rows, so I agreed to do it. So I've just been there a year, so I'm not sure how long it's been there, but I do believe it was started for the residents because it's a little harder for them to get out and go shopping.
Absolutely, yes. But remember, again, everybody is welcome to come to shop at the
Please
secondhand
do.
rows as well as to donate, and it all goes for a good cause. So we want to thank you very much, Judy Phippen, for coming in and reminding us about secondhand rows.
Thank you, LaVon. It was fun.
Till next time, here's the thought. Sympathy is never wasted except when you give it to yourself.